So we'll just start it off with overall assessment so far. 9-15, 3-3 in the MAC. What's your overall assessment of the team so far?
Overall assessment is, we've played with almost everyone we've played with. If we clean up the little things I think we would be our record would be a lot better. But it's nice to know that we're in games. We're in a string of one-run losses, spanning the last couple of weeks. But we know that we're right there. If we clean up a little things, I think we'll have a successful year.
Talk a little bit about the pitching staff. It's been phenomenal so far this season. Like you said, one-run games, a couple that you lost that were close. That wasn't the pitching's fault at all. Talk about your staff a little bit.
Right. Well, it's been a nice year. We have some real competitive guys this year. We've got some guys that aren't used to their roles that they're at that have really stepped up. This guy to my left was a career bullpen guy for us until this year. Charlie Sobreski wasn't even a pitcher this year before this year. And Sean Dubin's a transfer. That's our weekend rotation. They've been doing very well. Logan Harasta's really stepped up in the bullpen as a sophomore and kind of our anchor, which makes it easy for these guys is Mike Kalen coming back and, kind of just solidifying the toughest role on our team, which is a closer.
Now, talk a little bit about the transition from the bullpen to a starter this year. How has that been for you so far?
It's been going pretty well. Coming off after surgery, I had a lot of time off, so basically restarting in the fall, figuring it out from there. It wasn't that hard of a transition considering I didn't get to play summer ball, and going from there, kind of having the expectation of being a weekend starter, I was able to prepare myself mentally for it and physically.
How do you feel the staff as the whole staff starting rotation and the bullpen? How do you feel like you guys have been progressing this year?
Well, I think we started off pretty well. I mean, given that we're not outside ever and we don't really get to see, anyone on a dirt mound or anything like that for a while. But, I mean, coming out, the first weekend was tough for all of us getting to adjust. But then, we've kind of all been clicking on all cylinders, and everyone knows their role and everyone does their role very well. I mean, our starters compete and keep us deep in games, and then our bullpen guys come in and shut it down. So it's pretty much all you can ask.
Steve, what does he bring to your pitching staff? What does he bring to you guys?
Alec brings a constant competitiveness. He'll be the first to admit his stuff's a little different than most people. He's got a lot of movement. He's got really good stuff, but he's where he's at as far as MAC statistics, he's hanging with the big dogs, some first rounders, the Eric Lauers, the Keegan Aikens, and then Alec Tui's name is right there with them. I think that just speaks to his competitiveness. We always preach staying in the present tense and staying in the now, and I think he does that probably better than anyone on our staff. He doesn't get down if some runners get on. He doesn't get down if he gives up one or two early. He's always going to grind. He's going to stay present tense. He's going to be about this batter. And that's allowed him to do what we needed from him as a starter, Friday starter, is eat up innings and win games. And I think he's, top three in the MAC in innings and wins. So that's when you have a guy, first of all, winning on Fridays is huge. And then a guy winning while chewing up a chunk of innings that allow your bullpen to rest is another huge thing.
Alec, what have you worked on this season transitioning to a starter? What is the biggest thing that you worked on kind of coming into this year?
Biggest thing really is, trying to stay intense for more than 3 or 4 innings at a time. Coming from the pen last year, you get thrown into some tough situations early. You come in 2 outs, 1 out, bases loaded and everything. You got to come in ready to go, really focused. And then, your job's going to be over in 2 or 3 innings anyways. But, this year it's being intense for all 5, 6, 7 innings that I come into, having a bulldog attitude of getting everybody out, and that's probably the biggest thing is trying to stay intense for more than 3 or 4 innings at a time.
Like Coach mentioned, you're not the most powerful pitcher out there. You don't throw the hardest, but your stuff. What is it about your stuff that gets these batters out in the MAC?
Tui ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think I do a good job of locating strikes, and my ball does move a lot, have a lot of cut, and because of that, my slider and fastball look generally the same, so it kind of keeps hitters off balance. And it may not come in pretty hard, but when it moves a couple inches, it's good enough to miss barrels and get people out.
How nice is it knowing that you have Logan and Mike behind you coming in probably to close off the game?
It's pretty nice knowing that when you get into a jam, if you get into a jam you can't get out of it, you're gonna hand it off, put in some good hands that they're gonna get out of it, not give up your runs, and get you to the next inning and get you to the next guy.
And Coach, talk a little bit about the offense a little bit. Vinny Morano, talk about him. He's had a great start to the season. He's up there in the MAC in pretty much every category. Talk about what he means to the team.
Absolutely, Vinny is he's our guy in the middle of the order right now. He's he's had an outstanding start to the season. Even his batting average and everything is way up from last year. The power has always been there, but now he's made the adjustments to as far as his batting average, and he's cut down his strikeouts, which has allowed his batting average to climb. He's a legit middle of the order guy. He's been outstanding for us. And then the guys at the beginning, the Shepherds, Micah Brunzo's been getting on base constantly. So I mean, our offense is it's weird because if you look at, we've lost a couple tight games, but numbers wise we've been fine. We've been getting base runners at a clip of probably better than most teams in the conference. And we've got some really good individual performances. I just feel like we got a lot of good karma chalked up for later in the year.
What do you guys need to focus on to win these series 2-1 instead of losing a series 1-2 like last weekend?
Sure.
You guys were in all 3 games, and talk about what you guys need to focus on to get those wins.
We understand. It's easy to say, it's tougher to do. We know what's causing us. It's little things. And the other team, if we win those games 3-2, the other team is saying the same things that we are. But we've had, a couple outs on the base pass that we could have done without. We've had a couple, on the mound, we've had some bases empty walks that have led to a run or two that, it's something that we really try to cut down on. Just the little things defensively, kind of taking away those hidden bases with, if say a guy gets one in the gap and turns it into a double when maybe we could have kept him at first. Just little things in conference, which we're going to expect to play 4-3, 4-2, 2-1 games in conference. We got to get a little better at the little things, and that's really been our Achilles heel for the last 2 weeks.
Talk a little bit. You guys are heading to Ohio. Talk a little bit about what you know about them and what you guys kind of are looking forward to this weekend.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be a great challenge for us. I know on the mound, it's going to be fun for us because they're kind of a notorious, really really good offensive team. Mitch Longo is the reigning MAC Player of the Year. He's an outstanding baseball player. They're middle of the order, has a lot of power. They're top of the order, gets on base a lot. They're the MAC champs. So, I mean, if we want to get to where we want to be, we got to go through them. They're a MAC East rival. But I think if we keep doing the things that we're doing, especially on the mound, I think we'll be okay. And I think that this will be a good challenge for us to see if, our formula that's the last couple of weeks can roll in and take down a big-time offense.
Alec, how do you feel like the team is coming together as a group, as a unit? How do you feel like it is so far this season compared to seasons past?
Well, compared to this season, we don't really have many cliques separating us as players. Usually you can get into pitchers and position players being 2 different groups, but that's not really the case anymore. Especially this year, everyone likes each other and everyone's getting along. There's a lot of camaraderie with the team. Everyone supports each other, and we all know that if we are a team, we can be a team and compete, then we'll win games.
Good.
Awesome.
That's it.
Thanks.
Thanks, guys.